Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing great, Kelly. How are you?
Good, good, good. So I am very familiar with your work.
Okay.
I have seen, of course, Willy's Wonderland, The Cursed, and Pig Hill.
Nice.
So I've noticed this your new film, Misdirection, is a
hmm
little bit of a change for your
hmm
usual pace. Could you kind of fill us in on it a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is Misdirection is kind of more my style in the fact of like high drama, high stakes. I love, noir and crime. So, and it has a little tinge of horror in it, right? But it's definitely a different genre. And I jumped at the chance to do that because I want to do something different, show that there are, a lot of different shades for me as an artist and filmmaker. So.
Right, right. And it's got a fantastic cast.
Yeah, Olga, Frank, and Oliver. I mean, they were just amazing to work with, and Oliver produced the movie, and he really from the ground up. I mean, got Olga and Frank on board and the financing and everything. So it was it was really cool because I felt like working with him as an actor was great, and then as a producer, it was an amazing experience too. And I wanted to do right by him and make the movie, on time, on schedule, on budget. We did it in 15 nights in Serbia. So,
Well, that's short.
yeah, yeah.
But I guess when you have that many professionals in one room, things probably tend to go a little smoother and quicker than not.
Yeah, it was great. We had a great producer team, and my DP Marty was fantastic, and we just, yeah, and everybody clicked. Everybody knew, and I think that's kind of a director's job is to assemble the team and get the vision and down and the game plan and get everybody on the same page, and then we're working towards a goal and we execute it. So yeah.
Right, right. And like the story itself, I found very interesting because there's a lot of home invasion films out there, but this one's very different.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I love twists and turns, it was very Hitchcockian and the very play too, like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf's one of my favorite plays. And so it's just always leveling up the ante on the characters and trying to figure out who's saying what, who's telling the truth, who's not. And so there was a lot of fun. It all takes place in the house and the house is a character unto itself as well, you know?
it is. It had a very kind of sterile feeling, the house did.
hmm
That, minimalistic vibe going.
Yes, yeah, postmodern look to it, very cold, the cobalt blue, because they don't turn on the a lot of lamps, right? Because they're thieves, right? So you're shooting, it was very, dark, the footage. But I love that. I love that noir feeling.
It also echoes a lot into Frank's character. It just kind of gives you that vibe about him that he's just kind of cold.
Yes. Well, it was great with him too because he's an action star and so he's used to doing all these action movies and explosions and stuff, but what was cool about that was he's tied to the bed like over half this movie, yet the barbs of the dialogue, right, they're like action beats and tense, and so that was kind of fun for me because it's like to show Frank in a different light in a way, and we worked really hard on the shades of gray, like I said, what David's saying, and he is a victim, and things are change. Is it what he's saying is true? And then he's a lawyer, right? So he's manipulating the situation between Jason and Sarah and trying to plant things in their heads, and I love that. And Frank really, he grasped that a lot when we did the movie, and he really wanted to be like, I'm a lawyer. I'm messing around with these guys. I'm playing them off of each other, and that was fun.
And I'm glad that we actually get to see him, present more emotions and dialogue. Because usually you're right, it is all nonstop action with him. So it was
Yeah.
great to see him in that light.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
he's a
then
terrific actor, and I had a ball working with him, crafting that character.
right, and I mean, and the other characters are very well done as well. And I love the twist. That was not
Yeah,
little, that big
yeah,
twist.
yeah, yeah. And that's the thing, right? The title's Misdirection, so you kind of know, like, okay, what you see maybe not what's really happening, And again, it's about the human condition, and not every there's not, every right, every wrong. It's like shades of gray, not black and white,
Right, right. And, they did a fantastic performance. And, that moment, I'm not going to spoil it, but that moment when Oliver has that realization,
Yeah.
and it was just like, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. And I really enjoyed it. That was one of my favorite times in making the movie is I get together with the actors and just work on the beats and work on the plot and the character and the moments and make sure that everything was real and that it was truthful to what their characters and what they're thinking and what they're doing. And so once we worked all that out, I already did, shot listing with my DP Marty, which he did such a fantastic job. So I had that aesthetic and the world already built in, but I was like, I needed to dial that in. So once I got that, it was like everything meshed.
Right. And like I said, no spoilers,
Mm.
but I love the way that, the peak, that scene where everything comes together and there's a pool involved. I love the way that looked.
Oh, great. Well, in the script, the pool is outside. And that was the interesting thing about doing this movie is, the screenplays, it takes place in a house and everything. So there are moments they're used in the house, like listening through the walls and the pool's outside. Well, not every house has all that. So I was looking at these homes and I always knew I would have to readjust the script, do a production pass on it basically, and back it up to what location we had. So now the pool was downstairs, which I love. So I was like, all right, but now we got to get her down. How do we get her downstairs and figuring all that out? But that was the fun part of it. So yeah, I love that. That scene was great. We shot that in one night, that whole sequence.
So, what was your favorite part of making the film altogether?
I loved uh, working with my DP Madi was fantastic because I love just dialing in the look of this movie and working with a Serbian crew. They were incredible, and I love working with Olga and Frank and Oliver. I mean, they're amazing, and they all brought their A game to this, So it was an intense 15 nights, but turned out pretty good. I felt.
Imagine. And why did you, if you don't mind me asking, film it in
Mhm.
Serbia?
So there were a couple things. I mean, number one, you get a tax credit and things like that, but also just the idea of the crew and finding those locations, and it kind of had the look that we are looking for. There was a lot to choose from, and one of the producers did a movie in Serbia originally with Olga, and it turned out well, and so we decided to go back there. So.
Okay, okay. Is when it comes time, for a film to come out,
Mhm.
well, what are you feeling? Like what's running through your head right now?
Oh boy, it's interesting because I I have always friends like send me stuff on IMDb or like what critics say. I'm a firm believer. If I have to believe the good reviews, I gotta believe the bad reviews. So I feel like my job's done. It's like I've birthed this baby. It's out into the world, and it's gonna do what I call it the movie gods. It's just the movie gods. Like, are they gonna shine brightly on it or not? I know what I had to go through. I know what I did and the work I had to do. And I wish we could run a ticker and say, yeah, we had only 15 nights and da 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 all this stuff. But you can't. At the end of the day, people are just going to judge it as a movie. And to me, it's a 90-minute shot of the arm, film noir, neo noir crime thriller, a home invasion. And I think it's a really cool story, and it's a throwback to those 90s movies like Michael Mann used to do, a thief, and that was in the 80s. But all those great, noir and classic and Hitchcockian movies. So I kind of just let it out in the world. It's kind of like when you drop your kid off for kindergarten for the first time, and it's like, okay, and they're like, what's going on? It's like, no, it's like I have to let it go. My job's done. On kindergarten, it's done for 8 hours, and then you have to pick them back up. But for me, this job is done. So now it's just great to hear if people dig it or not. And that really, at the end of the day, that's what makes me make movies is people like loving the work and be like, I really enjoyed it. I had a good time, or I like this or that. And it's like, okay, cool. When even I had kids come up to me and say they saw Willy's and it wanted them to be make them want to be filmmakers. That's one of the best compliments ever. So yeah, I just want to make a cool movie and hope people enjoy it and just keep making them, you know?
Right, right. Speaking of making, um, I believe you already have another movie on the way.
Yeah, I'm working on a movie called Driver with Jeremy Piven and Caitlin Kemp and Colleen Camp, and it's really fun. It's more in the vein of a Willie's than I think like my other movies have been, but it's basically takes place in the '90s, and Jeremy plays a limo driver picking up a group of kids that they're taking them to prom, but he makes a little slight detour, so it's
Oh,
fun. Yeah, yeah,
okay. So it is horror, though, right?
yeah, yeah. Horror and
Good,
comedy, horror, yeah.
good, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I really, really liked Willy's Wonderland. I love the that
Cool.
chaos that Nick Cage brings to a role.
Well, I'm curious, like, what, when you think of Willie's, what are the words? What are the things that come to your mind when you think of,
Wild,
okay?
and it's got me Nicolas Cage. That's
Mhm.
always tied to Nicolas Cage as Wild.
Okay.
But it was fun
Fun. Okay.
and it was action packed. I mean, it kept you engaged. It kept you on the edge of your seat, wanting to see what's going to happen next. And
Mhm.
that's always a good thing to me. I mean,
Great.
it's something that can keep me hooked in it.
Good.
But
Very
it was,
cool.
yeah, it was a very fun film.
Great. Awesome.
It was definitely good. And, like your other films have been, Pig Hill, excuse me, Pig Heel. I can't even talk today. That was good too. I like, the twistedness of it.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's interesting in the movies that I've done, it's like I try to build these worlds that are different, aesthetically pleasing, meaning visually, and stuff, but it's always bordering on absurd or unreal. So like Willie's, it's like they play it real, right? They play like this, like Nick doesn't flinch when he sees Willie the Weasel. Most people would be running and what the heck and all that. And I enjoy that. And that's kind of a hard thing to do because you're kind of straddling that line. Same with Pig Hill, right? There's the big twist at the end. It's like, how do you build that? How do you throw people off and stuff? And so yeah, and with Misdirection, it's like the home invasion and what's going to go on and how things loose ends, and that was kind of interesting too, making this movie, especially like in the thriller genre. It's a puzzle. Every movie's a puzzle, but you had to figure out, okay, where's the gun slide? Okay, how far is that gun? Where's the knife? What's going up with the drugs? What all? Yeah, you're just figuring all this stuff out because you got to make sense to it. Because you can't have someone watch this movie and go, wait a minute, what happened? So I'm always like checking myself, when I'm doing these movies, like making sure all the logic, plays out. So
Like I said, I really, really like the big twist. It kind of
yeah.
caught me off guard, and I was like, everything makes sense now.
Yes, that's it, right? You do a twist, but it's like it's gotta all make sense. Every little moment where you can go back, watch the movie again, saying like with Pig Hill, you watch the movie again. There's things in Pig Hill that are like Easter eggs that I put in that kind of show you what's the ending, but you don't know it when you first watch it. But if you go back now and you're oh yeah, I see that. Okay, kind of same thing with Misdirection. There's a couple things where you're like, if you pay attention, I like making movies. I call these laundry movies, where it's like if you're doing the laundry and having something on, I don't like that because then you're not focused and engaged. I want to make movies that keep you focused and engaged and entertained. So,
Right, right. And it definitely does. All of them do. But, misdirection really, I don't know. Maybe it's because I have a sister. I don't know. But
yeah,
it, you know what I mean? It kind of got me.
yeah,
And, once that big twist and just seeing that expression on Oliver's face when he realized what has been happening,
yeah,
it's priceless.
yeah. Yeah,
It's,
Oliver is fantastic in that movie.
oh, he is, and he's kind of a sweetheart. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to do bad things, but he, has
Well, his
needs.
character I always felt was like the audience, right? Their audience is just trying to, figuring out, and you're in the audience, you really do care for him because he's gone through a lot, and he's kind of like, wait, and he's a sweetheart. He's like innocent, kind of naive, even though he's a hardened criminal and he's had done time before, like he's still got kind of this kid inside of him, which I loved, you know. So
He's a bad guy that's not bad.
yeah, yeah. There you go. Shades of gray again, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, bad guys don't think they're bad. Bad guys think they're doing the right thing, you know. And so that's what the whole idea was, trying to get to these characters. And it's like Sarah's thinking she's doing the right thing, David thinks, and Jason. So, and to me, actors are always like their own heroes, right? They're when they're doing their characters, it's like they're the hero of the story. It's what's going on with them and why are they making these choices and everything. So it was a fun script to do.
Right, right. And definitely. And you know that not no spoilers, but I love that ending.
Yeah,
I loved how it all, unfolded and it came together.
yeah,
And it was a great decision to make it in that way.
great. Thank you.
And it, like I said, it's a fun movie. It's got that action thing, but it's more about the characters than it is about
Yeah,
people fighting.
yeah,
And like I said with Frank Grillo, we get that a lot. I mean,
hmm,
that's what he's known for. He's known for action, but to see him actually sit down
yeah,
and play someone that has emotions and like a deeper experience of him.
yeah, yeah. He's great in the movie. Yeah,
He is, and it all came together very nicely. And
great.
I liked that twist. That was good. I liked
Oh,
that twist.
that's great, Kelly. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that I had a chance to talk to you and
Yeah,
hear more about your movie because, like I said, I enjoyed it.